We're back. We told you Rise Up Paranormal would be back at Middleborough Town Hall here in Middleborough, Massachusetts, where there is apparently a singing female in the basement and there is a whistling gentleman in the auditorium. So singing and whistling, you think maybe this is a Disney production, but it's not. It's the paranormal truth, and it's right now. A little over 3 months ago, Rise Up Paranormal came to Middleborough, Massachusetts to check out the town hall that was rich with stories of paranormal activity. Needless to say, they were not disappointed.
Mark audio.
And that was their second trip here. They had plenty on their first trip, too. They came back with a new investigation toy and a psychic medium.
What I had seen when I went in there just this last time was a scared female, and she takes off and runs.
Stephanie Burke joined Rise Up Paranormal a few years after meeting Ken DeCosta and his son, Dave. She has a radio show on WBSM in Fairhaven called Spooky South Coast. Stephanie has had this gift her whole life, and for her, it's been all in the family.
Being younger, I was born into it, pretty much. My mom was a medium and my dad was kind of an amateur ghost hunter. My grandparents had owned a travel agency and they traveled all throughout the US, Canada, everywhere. And everywhere that my dad went, he would bring his infrared camera, and we're talking like probably 1970s. And I remember finding these photos when I was probably maybe 5, and asking why they looked weird. They were infrared photos. And he's like, oh, I was just looking for ghosts, like just nonchalant. And, you know, this was my life growing up, and I didn't really understand that other people weren't like this. Do you know if there was a mafia connection?
Could be. That's not an obvious connection. We'd have to be researched a little bit. But
yes or no works?
No. Not that I know
You
of.
don't know? Okay.
As a family member of Rise Up, Stephanie has fun giving a hard time to team members as well as receiving one. Her 10 years of experience helps the most respected paranormal team around continue to be so.
My favorite part of all of it is being able to uncover the mystery behind the history and being able to peel back that extra layer that you can't necessarily get with just equipment or your own eyes, and I can come in and tell you the who, what, why, where, and what happened.
Ken had Stephanie go into the locations of Town Hall where Rise Up would be investigating to get a feel for who or what might be around. Ashley followed closely behind to take notes on what Stephanie was saying.
For nobody that's realized it, I walk in circles, so you might all come
I've
crashing
been
behind
there.
me to walk right back this
I've been
way.
there, so we
I
all go like,
apologize.
blah, 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 like
yes.
it's like a 6-car pileup.
Yes. So, where are you? So what I see, but I'm not seeing what I'm trying to find, are a bunch of jail cells.
Bunch of them.
Well, what are they trying to show me? Hold on. I'm seeing like 2 or 3 in front of me, but they're showing me like rioting, like they're angry about something.
Okay.
They're the feeling that I keep getting is on the angrier side, but and I'm not even sure if this is. There was somebody standing behind me before, but I was trying to figure them out. But when you guys walked in, it ran. So what I saw was a group of guys that were getting together, like trying to plot, and they just seemed like that scummy type of. I don't even know what you want to call them, criminals, so to speak, but like that mob type of scummy. You guys scared off my ghost.
Well,
Let's go back out.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, it's a jail cell. Oh, hey, there's 2. I found them. There's 3. That makes me feel better. Are they all locked except for this one?
Yeah, what we got is those two used for storage. They usually keep a lock on this. This one, I guess, has things that they use more often as far as office supplies and things like that.
All right.
So this one stays open all the time.
Ugh. Okay. I get totally dizzy in there, but can you write down possible hanging? I'm not sure where yet, but that just popped in. Come on, friend. Can you write down the name Benjamin? Benjamin. That's been hitting me in the head since I came in the front door, so it won't go away.
Front door? That's good to know.
Sorry. Okay, so I keep seeing a different type of I don't even know if I want to call it fighting or maybe like training, but it seems as though it's Native American time. And I feel like I'm in the middle of their homes, or lack of a better word, village. They seem like they're training for something. They were fighting back and forth. It's a lot of residual energy right now. It's just pictures. It's not a spirit necessarily saying it, but they're showing me. My ghost disappeared. I don't know where she went, so she's probably upstairs. So we can go try to find her. These guys that are down here are pretty angry, so I'm gonna go. Still feeling that hanging. You're gonna have to look into that. Okay, I wanna go through this. Is this a doorway? Where does that go? So I don't walk
around the stage.
blindly somewhere, but
A few ladders we can climb. You ready?
who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
He does.
I don't like walking into dark places alone. I'm just throwing that out there. It's so hard to sift through all the residual energy that's left here. Like showing me pictures of things that have gone on in this room and different things like that. But I want like an actual spirit that's left. Where can I find me one? The pacing back and forth almost feels like it's residual because I didn't see anything. I could hear something singing when I walked over here.
Stephanie also saw a woman dancing on the auditorium floor. They moved up to the seats in the balcony, but as she told Chris, she felt very comfortable and not at all like there was much going on there. Much of what she was feeling was residual.
I really wanted there to be like Phantom of the Opera behind stage, but
Though we did catch whistling that seemed to be in response, which would go against that. But
would go against what? The Phantom?
residual.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, it seemed to be in response, but
I was gonna say, you're telling me there's a Phantom of the Opera back there? I'm going back, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, we saw him in the whole chandelier thing. And
well, whistling could be residual too.
it could, but it seemed to be in response.
Ah, okay.
Once Stephanie was done, Ken had the crew break up into teams and start their investigations.
Okay, Middleborough Town Hall, Saturday the 21st. We're on the stage, session 1. Base temp is 70 degrees. EMF 0. Barometric pressure is 3.7 inches of mercury and 36% for humidity. And we're recording. Set to vibrate.
Tonight I wanted to say hello to whoever might be here.
You might not need the temp.
This is our third time that we've come back to visit. And it's very nice to be here. In the past, you've been so kind as to talk with us and let yourself be known. So we wanted to say hello, let you know we come in respect again, as we always do. What we're looking for is to listen to you. Anyone who's here who might want to share something with us, talk to us, send a message. Because that's what we do. Someone in this hall may be very, very fond of music. You know, we've sang to you before, not very well, but we've sang, we've whistled songs, we've had a lot of fun here. So would you like to say hello? Would you like to come out and talk to us? Choice is yours. We even brought some friends of ours tonight. This is the first time here. This is Ashley and Tracy.
Hi there.
They have heard us talk so much about the town hall, and they were curious themselves. They wanted to come and visit tonight, so we're more than happy to have them here. So please welcome them if you can.
Would you be kind enough to tell us what your name is?
If you object at any time to us asking questions, or if we're infringing on you, or you don't feel like you need to answer, and that's fine. But rather than waste our time in here tonight, if you'd prefer not to talk to us, could you do something that we can hear or see right now just to let us know so we don't waste our time and yours?
I know there's a woman or a gentleman that loves to whistle in this room. Are you here tonight? Was that you, Ken?
Did someone just whistle?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
I was starting to pucker up because I wasn't sure if we were gonna.
Yeah, I think we should do that again. I really think we should. So last time we were here, Tracy, we had Ken whistle a little tune, and then seconds later we heard it back, a reply whistling from the balcony area. It happened.
cool.
Yeah, it happened about 2 or 3 times. I don't know. I think we should try that.
Give it a try. I just want to see you guys whistle anyway.
All right, so what do you say if you're here, we have a little fun? Now, we've done this before where I whistled a song. We heard you. First time we were here, we heard you. And it was fun. We appreciated it. Okay, let's try it again. Your turn.
I'm picking up footsteps. No one's moving? Oh, it's coming from behind me.
Sounds like behind you.
I believe I may have heard somebody trying to come a little closer, and if that was you, you're doing a great job. We'd love to talk to you for a little while. I promise you, we won't bother you for too long. Not going to be here all night.
And if you are feeling a little apprehensive about us, feel free to kind of walk around and check us out. You don't have to say anything or do anything grand for us to know you're here. Even just making footsteps or walking across the stage, you have the upper hand because we can't see you right now. So you don't have to be nervous. Mark got it.
Steps?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I just got a spike.
Steps, right?
Yep,
Yep.
I just got a spike on EMF too.
That way,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, let's just, 10 seconds or so, let's see if it happens again. Did you hear those steps upstairs when we heard them? We didn't hear that? Like 10 minutes ago. Something. No? Okay.
I haven't touched it.
Okay, we're kind of divided on this. I think I hear you walking around, or I hear something. I'm not sure if that's just the energy in the room or it's actually someone back there who can hear and see me that's moving around, and that's fine. But if you can hear and see
Voice in the
us,
back of the room.
noise outside. If you can hear and see us, then please know that you're safe here. You're safe with us. We have no intention of running after you or making demands of you. Kind of quiet here.
Yeah, I was
So
hoping
me-
we could get something on the stage, some kind of movement. We had the dogs lighting up last time, and we weren't even in here.
Well, let's see what happens when we actually leave here. Yeah.
After the first session ended, Ken took Cody and Stephanie into the basement area with the cells. Chris stayed in the stairwell with RISEUP's 3D capture. This was the first time they used this new piece of investigative equipment.
What we're looking at is our wireframe, and you can see live. There's someone standing there. Here's our depth imaging, so we can figure out where they are in the image. Helps us understand when we see a wireframe where it is. You can see them entering the cell. Here they are live with the depth. Really gets us the full picture, especially if there's any orbs or anything, then you can tell where they are in the image.
What would
Yeah,
it look
sure.
like if a spirit walked across it?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out, because by monitoring this, plus all the devices we have in the hallway, what is the spirit going to look like if you're trying to capture it in a 3D capture form? Hopefully, perhaps there'll be some kind of disturbance and we'll pick it up on the wireframe, but not see it live. But the problem with the wireframe, and you see it a lot, is that it picks up a lot of false readings because it's not designed to pick up spirits. It's to make patterns out of movement, and then it'll trace you out. So we have some light meters and other devices in the hallway, so if we can correspond or corroborate the evidence with this, then the 3D capture just helps us. But definitely taking pictures and being able to manipulate it to see where they are in the photo really helps. So it's new, we're using it, something to add to the arsenal.
So while Pirate Chris hung out with his new toy, I promised him I wouldn't call it a treasure, Ken and Stephanie sat in the cell, and Cody stayed in the hallway with a laptop. The laptop was hooked up to a data logging lux meter, which measures light. There's a baseline reading that would drop significantly if something crosses in front of it.
We are doing an EVP session. I am with Stephanie, and we're back in the jail cells here in Middleborough. I want to start off by saying hello. We've come back again. So let me get right to the point. And the point being is that I've shut the door in this jail cell twice in the 2 times that I've been here. And in both times, without any doubt in my mind, a woman has sang to me in here. A very, very nice voice. So I wanted to know if you would be so kind as to do that again for me, because I would love to hear the sound of your voice. And that's the way that you acknowledge yourself. And please go ahead and do that. I'm actually in here with 2 young ladies right now. I don't know how you feel about that, but they're friends of mine. And we've all come back just to try to make contact with you again. And I was wondering if you could be so kind to let me hear your voice again. If you'd like to sing something to me, that would be phenomenal. I'd appreciate that so much. If you'd just like to say hello. I know I've asked this question before, but is there someone here with us who was once held in this cell? Is there anyone still here attached to this place who worked here? Mark audio there.
I heard someone say what sounds like Solomon.
While Ken and Stephanie continued to try and make contact in the cell, Cody kept watching on the laptop. That is, until we both heard a noise in the vault room.
Do you hear something in here, Dan?
Yeah. You?
I thought I did too. Yeah. There's plenty of things to be rustled on, I'll tell you that. Maybe if we're quiet, you can ask a couple questions. I don't think they can hear us over here. If there's anybody in here, You may recognize me. My name is Cody, and a few of my friends are down the hall just a little ways in the jail cell. I believe we may have heard you back here. Were you involved in the history of this building? All the archives are in this room, and different types of newspapers. You're not in trouble for what you were doing if you were looking through something. We just came in here because we're very interested as well. Last time we were down here, we believe we may have heard a male in this room, and we also absolutely heard a female down here. That's upstairs. I mean, we're in an old safe, so there's not much in here besides a bunch of documents, which absolutely could make ruffling sounds. I don't think so. That sounds like it.
Yeah.
Wow, that definitely could be it. Did you just hear something?
Huh?
Did you just hear something?
No.
Like a whisper?
No, I cleared
Let me make sure they're not. I'm gonna mark it anyway. If they're not. It sounded like as soon as we pulled out that book there, or whatever it was, when we started walking back, it sounded like one syllable of something. I'm not sure. We'll check it.
So as you can see, we just brought a couple of toys. That's all they are. They're just a toy to help us. You can push it and we can talk. Maybe you can show us that you can do that. So all you gotta do is just roll it. There's one there and there's one, if you want to do it in front of me, there's one way over there. So it'd be nice and simple. Can you roll it off the table? Walking upstairs.
Yeah.
And if we're making you nervous, we also have another ball on the floor in the back of the room. So feel free to play with that as well.
Please don't think we're asking you to do tricks for us or entertain us. We try to think of things that are easy for you to manipulate, but also visual for us, because it's difficult.
Thank you very much.
That's exactly it.
Did it light up?
Yeah?
It's lighting up right now.
Can you do this one here? Can you push this ball in front of me? You can roll it off the edge, it won't break.
There it goes again.
All right, we know you can do that one. Can you come do this one? I'll back up from it. Can you push that one? Light it up?
And comparing the two surfaces, we have a smooth surface and a carpet, and it's moving on a carpet.
Yeah.
If you're happy that we're here tonight, spending a few hours here, can you make the light up again? The ball. Thank you.
How about a few knocks? Can you do it like this? That's me. Can you do that? Try and do that and you can make the ball light up like that. Not that one, this one over here. Try and light this one up right here. 3 loud knocks.
Did someone just breathe out, like, out loud?
Didn't hear it.
Did you hear
Mark
it?
audio. 10 seconds.
I don't know if having the girls in here offended anyone, but I've sent them away. It's myself, my friend Dan. Mark audio, did you hear that?
I think it was that.
Was that Len laughing?
Yeah.
Somebody giggled, okay. That was my first that they were giggling, you know, but. I know this is kind of an awkward situation because I know that everyone is calling on someone in 2 different areas to go and speak to them or have contact with them, so. If in the event that my singing woman friend is, for some reason, favoring us or listening to us, I would love to hear you one more time. And I promise you, I won't ask anything more of you.
Because I'll tell you too, so I don't forget. I get a J or a John name in the cell. I'm getting a J name here and something that sounded like Solomon.
All right, let me write this down. All right, so you're getting a J.
John for the male, a J name for the female. Something that sounds like that J sound and something that sounded like Solomon. It's like very biblical. Came across.
Solomon. Okay.
I feel better now. You wrote things down.
Is she still in the corner back there? All right, so did you hear that, Dan? She's in the corner.
Really?
She believes she's in the corner. I said that's very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so like I was asking, I just asked for a little bit of trust. I absolutely promise you that myself or anybody that's with me is going to hurt you or disrespect you in any way. I know I may look a little strange holding these tools in my hand, but I assure you that it's just to help communication a little better. I want to be able to hear and possibly see you as best as I possibly can.
Like she's super angry.
She's angry. She's more angry than upset.
Right now, yeah. But
Is she angry at me or angry in general?
she's just angry that we're trying to talk to her.
Okay.
That's why I haven't gone over there yet, because otherwise I would have just walked right over. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to respect the space that obviously she's stuck between us.
Absolutely.
So,
All right, so if you feel that we are coming too close to you at any time, or you feel like we should back off a little bit, please either do something that we can visibly hear or see, or just please let Steph know.
that was a change of tune.
In a good way or a bad way?
Good one.
Okay. I hope that makes you feel a little more comfortable. I'm just here to talk to you. That's why I came here tonight. My main goal is to talk to you, possibly help you if you need help. So do you feel the gentleman around us anywhere?
No. But I feel like she's just not buying what we're saying either. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah,
in her.
and nothing's gonna change it?
Yeah. It's like a weird mixture between like a distraught and anger. I don't even know how to describe it.
So, something happened to her, either physically or mentally, and it happened. There's no way we can go back and change what happened.
Right.
So she's feeling like this, and she feels that there's nothing we can do to change how she feels because something happened to her, and we can't take that back.
It's pretty good. I like that.
Okay.
Like even like her cowering too is obviously like a fear. Like every time somebody walks in here, she cowers.
They're kind of afraid of people.
Yeah. But that could be linked to what happened to her.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask, does whatever happened to her, was that the cause of her death, do you think?
I honestly don't know, and I don't want to speculate because.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you don't want to do that.
At the end of the session, Cody headed upstairs to listen to the noise he thinks he caught in the vault room when it was just the two of us.
We got something.
Cody went to share his findings with Ken before the last session of the night.
So this was the last session in the basement. You and Steph were sitting in the cell. I was watching the Lux meter in the hall, and Dan was filming me. The archive room would be to our left. So everything was going good. About 22 minutes in, Dan gets up and walks in. We both had heard something, but we didn't know we both heard it. We got up to check it out. It sounded like a rustling sound, like somebody shifted a paper or something. So we went in there, confirmed that we both heard it, and started trying to recreate the sound. We couldn't recreate the sound. Everything in there made a higher pitched noise than what we heard until we got to the back corner of the room where a stack of, what would you call them?
They're like tax records, probate
records. So they look like big thick books. If we shifted the top one, it sounded exactly like it. So once we established what it was, we were getting ready to walk out, and I had my headphones on. I thought I heard something. Dan had cleared his throat, so I thought it might have been that, but I marked it anyway, and I just reviewed it. I'm not going to tell you what I think is going on. I'm going to let you hear it. So it's 2227. Wow, that definitely could be it. Yeah. Let me rewind again. Wow, that definitely could be it.
Yeah. All right, I hear the whisper, right? But, well, you listen to it first. I'll tell you what I think.
Wow, that definitely could be it.
Yeah.
Wow, that definitely could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear a male.
That's what I thought.
The only thing I want to rule out is you guys shifting or moving or doing anything like that, whether it's like, you know how it is, shifting feet on the floor, sounds like a whisper. You guys weren't touching papers or books or boxes or moving anything around like that?
Not at that time.
And it's short. To me, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we thought it was,
so,
yeah.
well, like a yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vocal signature on it is if it's stacked, it's one thing. This thing will probably look like it's bottom
Yeah.
with like one straight line. So that might not be like the definitive answer for you.
Right.
But it's...
well, it would be good to see what it looks like anyway.
Send me
You know
the
what I
clip, I'll run through the WASP program too. See if
Okay.
this actually has vocal characteristics. The thing is, when you get a yeah, you're not talking about A-I-O-U,
Yeah.
so you're not gonna get that, you know, hard sounding vowel on it or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know, I mean, I would clip it and put it through.
One other interesting thing that happened was when I brought Steph into the archive room this last session here. I don't know if this has anything to do with this. She had no knowledge of what happened between me and Dan, but she walked in and she said that this female J name, she literally pointed to the same spot where these books were that we went and found this noise and where I got this clip from. Right into the back corner, and she said she stayed back there because she was frightened. So I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I thought that was a little strange.
Me come into that session, and as soon as I mentioned Miss Jewel, she said the spirit, the entity or whatever left.
Yeah.
Scared, just ran.
And who was she? Who was the Jewel woman again?
Miss Jewel's the one that had spent the horrific night in jail because she stole some jewelry. I mean, I talked to Steph about this. I don't.
Appropriately named Miss Jewel.
Miss
Sounds
Jewel
like-
stole jewelry.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a clue game.
Yeah.
Miss Jewel in the jail cell.
Miss Jewel in the jail cell.
So I talked to Steph. Steph scared. She doesn't want. She seemed to react to what you said, but I have a hard time saying like, why is she here?
Yeah, if you had the most horrific night.
A little bit. Well, that was going to be the next thing I said.
I would guess we'd have
residual,
because you caught the singing, right? And I said, oh, this is a great thing for residual singing because it says in the bottom that she had a stage life in New York City. So she was involved in plays and all that. So it made sense that we were picking up something residual. But now Steph is adding this intelligent haunt to it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you'd ask yourself a question. If you had a horrific night here and you hated the place,
Why would you be here?
Could she be stuck?
if you're talking about something that's grounded here,
Yeah.
and not just someone who just
Like a
gets
visitation.
spiritual and comes in visitation for whatever reason.
Right.
I don't know why I'd want to revisit it, but
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
But is there something to the?
I don't get into the minds of what spirits think. You know?
No, yeah.
I don't know.
I
Right.
don't have her death record. I don't know when she died.
Yeah.
How far after this? I could find out that she died a week later.
Right.
And maybe there's something to the whole tragic being trapped and caught. I don't want to go into the unfinished business type
Right.
deal, but is there something to it? I mean, we'll have to follow that.
I would say all in all, it's pretty good.
It was time for Rise Up to move on to the final session of the night.
Now, my name is Ken. This is Chris. That's Cody. That's Steve.
Hello.
The gentleman on the camera is Dan. So every time we come here, we think it's important that everybody has a voice. If there's something that you want to say to us and you can speak, you can do those type of things, then this is the place to do it, in a public forum.
We have a couple of names that perhaps you will know, or maybe you are this person, but are you the previous janitor? Janitor Johnson? Probably haven't heard anyone use that name in a while.
Benjamin, you have access to every part of this building. You always did. Can you hear us? Benjamin, do something, if you don't mind, to let us know you can hear us and you know that we're addressing you. I know this looks like a trick, but I'm not sure what we can do. Little white balls on the table there. Feel free to go over and snatch one. You can move one of those, that would be a good sign. Maybe it's not that hard to do. Just make one roll.
How do you like the way the building looks today compared to when you either worked here or spent time here?
If you like it, move one of the balls if you can't talk. Take one of them, roll it around, move it a little bit.
You know, it's just recently, every time we come here, we find more names. Chris digs up more stuff, does more research, learns a little bit more about the people attached to the building. So, what do you say? Right? We got nothing to lose. If we're right, we're wrong, whatever. But if you're here right now and you can see us or hear us, just let us know. You know what to do. You'd bang on a wall, move some of these white balls on the table that Steve put over here for whomever is capable of doing it.
That was a wrap for the night. While this investigation wasn't as active as the last one, or RISEUP's first trip here without our cameras, it helped fill in some more holes, which I talked about later with Ken and Chris. When our cameras went there with you guys, and Cody, you and myself were in the basement, we heard the singing female with our own ears, that sort of thing. We did that second investigation down there towards the end of the night. And as I saw it, I had the camera on you, and over down by the vault, I'm seeing, you know, this gray mass moving, and I look over at it, and then I'm still shooting you, but I'm watching. I see it again, and that's when you got the, you know, I started tapping you on the shoulder.
What do you want?
What do you
want?
And I told you we got to go down and see. Nothing happened there. But then, a day or so later, I was talking to Heather Clocodile, a friend of mine. She's a medium, and she felt a presence over my shoulder. And she said it was a woman. She was very much involved in musicals and that sort of thing, and she was hanging around me to thank me for acknowledging her that way, seeing her. And then I called you. I was like, what's going on here, Ken?
Yeah, when you get a hold of me, I thought it was like, you know, an interesting story because, number one, that you had seen something. As somebody who documents and films all of this, basically you're just, you know, running around after us. And that's where a lot of your focus is. So when you have your own experiences, that's important to us because your focus is on something else. So if you see or experience something, usually it's got to be something reasonably profound to take your attention and focus off to following us around and, you know, telling us that you saw or heard something. So from that point, I said, you know, you never turn down any lead. So when you gave or she gave you a name and a little bit of background, and it seemed to fit when she talked about being a singer. So that's what clicked in my mind, you know, that said, okay, fine. So that's when I turned it over to him, and I said, this is like a ridiculous long shot. We're throwing up a Hail Mary pass here, but here's a name, and this is supposedly her background. I have no idea what era or what age or anything like that, but maybe...
Thank you guys for that, by the way.
You must have been like, friggin' Dan.
So I got 140 years of history of first name.
Well, maybe they, you know, because there is a stage there. There is a hall. Musicals were done. Plays were done, you know, more so, obviously, back in the day than there are now. So that's when I turned it over to Chris and just said, with all that in mind, you know, maybe there was a troupe that went around putting on these things, or maybe she came into I don't know why she's in the jail cell. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But that's when I told him, just, you know, throw up a Hail Mary here and see if you can pull a name out. And that's what he did.
Tom Brady, Chris.
Yeah,
What happened?
Tom Brady. Well, what's interesting, and this also brought up another thing when I was researching it, is I automatically go back to the oldest. So I go back to 1870 because we're like, you know, we're at a haunted place. It's got to be someone old. So, you know, I started there and nothing. And it's like, all right, by World War II, I'm getting a little like, okay, I don't think we're going to find anything here. Because as we get past 1940, we start losing records because, you know, there's a lot of privacy.
I didn't think we were going to get anything. I just gave it to you
so,
to get it off me and annoy you. It's like, go ahead.
So once I got past 1940, I was like, oh, shoot, you know, Dan's out of luck here. I think Dan's, like, seeing things or something, you know, and why didn't you turn the camera?
He's finally cracked.
Yeah, why didn't you turn the
Yeah,
camera?
Yeah, right.
You know, hey, Ken, there's something over here.
There's a gray mist over there.
You know, but I'll go back to my history thing. You handle the camera stuff.
What are you going to do?
So I said, all right, well, let me, you know, it's almost like there's a gap in history, like the 50s and 60s. It's tough to find stuff in there because it's just the Privacy Acts. So I went to some more recent newspapers, and in 2010, I had a hit with the name. And she was a singer. They performed plays at the town hall.
Yep.
So putting the pieces together with the name, it fit. And reading from her obituary, she was a longtime member of the Church of Our Savior, Middleboro, which included singing in the choir and helping with functions around the church. She was a past member of the Cabot Club in Middleboro, and she's survived, and so on. So the Cabot Club was very much involved in the town hall.
Right.
And a lot of the functions.
So are we going to tell you we found our ghost? It's like, we can't say that.
I can't.
You know, it's just the name that Heather gave you matches. Why she may be doing this matches. I mean, you know, I love music and performed and stuff like that. So it seems coincidental. But really it's two things. You know, the first is that, you know, I wouldn't go back and say it's like, you know, case solved or anything like that. It certainly seems to fall into place, and maybe we have the right person. But it also goes to show that the backbone of what we're doing is not, and we've said this for years, it's not gizmos and gadgets. It's like getting your hands dirty and rolling up your sleeves and reading these things. And to us, it's always been equally fascinating to be able to go back and do these things as it is that, you know, we recorded a voice or whatever the case may be. This is why we got into this, you know, just to answer questions. So sometimes in answering the questions, it just gives you more questions.
Absolutely.
So and that's one of these instances.
Despite getting a voice that sounded like it said, yeah, there really wasn't much evidence on this evening. The voice Cody heard in the vault room was just too short to actually present as legitimate evidence. Lastly, if you recall, Stephanie kept getting a hanging and a name of Andrew. Chris did find evidence of a boy, Andrew Eaton, who hung himself near the town hall property way before it was built. Was this Eaton a relative of the town hall architect, Solomon Eaton? This needs more research, but that is for another time. Thanks for watching Rise Up Paranormal's second investigation of the Middleborough Town Hall in Middleborough, Massachusetts. I'm Dan Ginden, and I've been seeking out the paranormal truth.